Did you know that in the last presidential election, only 55% of eligible Texans showed up to the polls, leaving Texas at 47th in the nation for voter turnout? In the gubernatorial election in 2018, only 33% of eligible Texans showed up to vote. Texas, we have a problem. Well, why aren't people voting? Texans have had a long history of not feeling engaged in the issues brought to the table, thus haven't felt interested enough to show up at the polls. Many voters feel too uninformed to exercise their right to vote, or feel they can't identify a representative that represents their overall interests. There's also the work factor. Many Texans just aren't able to find a time that fits with their work schedule. Let's not forget the fact that we are living through a global pandemic, leaving many voters concerned that a trek to the polls could expose them to COVID-19. All of these concerns are valid. However, they still shouldn't prevent us from coming together and exercising our right to vote. We are living in unprecedented times, and we want to be sure to have a voice in all of the issues that will affect us the most. So, Texas, how do we get started? First, be sure to check your voter registration status. Visit votetexas.gov and select Am I Registered and follow the instructions. If you are not registered, visit registertovote.org and follow the instructions provided. Make sure you have your Social Security number and a government-issued ID. When you complete your registration online, you will be sent a printed application to sign and place in the addressed envelope provided to send. Easy. So what are you voting for? In the November 2020 election, you are voting for the President, Vice President, U.S. Representatives, and U.S. Senators. Texans will also have the option to vote for candidates in statewide races, such as seats in each congressional district. Vote411.org/Texas will have more information about each election and who the major players are. Not sure who to vote for? You can start by visiting ballotready.org to obtain a voter guide provided by your home address. Be sure to research each candidate, their history, and the challenges and solutions they are bringing to the table. So when and where do you vote? This is where you need to pay attention to make sure you don't miss the opportunity to exercise your right to vote. The last day to register to vote in person or by mail is Monday, October 5th, 2020. If you are concerned about your work schedule or being exposed to COVID-19, early voting is not only a great but safe option. It will allow you to plan around work and allow you to vote in less crowded polling locations. Texas allows voters to vote early starting on Tuesday, October 13th, 2020, with the early voting option ending on Friday, October 30th, 2020. To find out where to vote, visit www.votetexas.gov/voting/where. If you aren't able to vote early, the National Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. It is crucial that if you miss the early voting deadline, that you vote on Election Day. There is no possibility of voting after November 3rd. To vote by mail, you will need to apply for an absentee mail-in ballot, delivering that ballot to your county elections office. Applications can be dropped off before the early voting deadline of October 13th, 2020, and mailed applications must be received by October 23rd, 2020. For more information, visit votetexas.gov/voting/when. Absentee voting ballots must be sent in by Election Day. Please remember that in order to vote using any of the options discussed, you have to be registered by October 5th, 2020. This is an important election year, and we want to show up to the polls Texas strong. Your voice matters. See you at the polls.